Senator Fisher. Senator Heller.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. And to the ranking member also, thank you for holding this particular hearing. I want to thank the panel also for taking time, being here today and answering our questions. But before I ask a question, I'd like to touch on a couple of points. Commissioner McDowell and Pai have been discussing FCC regulations and whether they make sense in today's world. I agree with them that we regulate telecommunications in silos when the world we live in today is becoming more interconnected each day. And I also agree with Senator Wicker, believe it or not. Actually, we always agree. But we need to have a strong discussion here in this committee, this Senate committee, regarding the 92 Cable Act and the 96 Telecommunications Act, and whether those laws are promoting or hindering innovation, investments in infrastructure, and broadband adoption. I also want to mention that I was visited recently by the Nevada broadcasters and our PBS stations. I'd like to convey to the commission their concern regarding the spectrum auction. In Nevada, we have over 300 translators and low-power television stations, and I hope you'll keep that in mind as you move forward next year in completion of this auction. But I'd like to bring to attention the bipartisan FCC reform measure, a reform measure, the FCC Consolidated Reports Act I introduced last year. The bill identifies 16 reports required of the FCC that could be eliminated, 8 separate reports that could be combined in a single report and produced to the Congress at a specific time. This particular piece of legislation passed with bipartisan support in the House. Last year, I asked all of you your thoughts on this measure. 4 commissioners who answered did not have significant issues at all with this bill. Commissioner McDowell said that Congress and the FCC would benefit. So, to you, Mr. Chairman, I do believe that this is a good government bill, and Commissioner McDowell and Pai both agree that it would benefit Congress and the FCC. Would you agree with that?
Well, I've survived in part by not endorsing specific legislation in my time here, but the ideas of reform are something that we're happy to work with you on and the committee on. Certainly consolidating reports is something that we'd appreciate. We've been trying to do some of that on our own. So I do think that working with the committee to continue to reform our processes is a very healthy thing.
Commissioner McDowell, do you have any comments?
Absolutely. I think there's some very meritorious ideas in that legislation, as you've heard me say before. And I also would hope that in the coming months and years, this committee would seriously consider the seemingly daunting task of a comprehensive statutory rewrite to erase those silos, to look at all of these services and technologies through the lens of consumers like my children who don't care if it comes through twisted copper pair or wireless in one way or broadcast, which is wireless in another way, or coaxial cable or fiber. Let's look at how are consumers potentially benefiting and also harmed, and if there's concentrations and abuses of market power. That's a daunting task, but I think if we all work together, it doesn't have to be partisan, it could be unanimous.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Pai, thank you for your recent visit. Do you have any comments on this?
I do think that the Consolidated Reporting Act would go a long way to streamlining the efforts that the Commission has to expend in order to report back to Congress. I think it would also do Congress a much better service because you would get in one place a comprehensive snapshot of exactly what is going on in the marketplace. Let me add as well that the endeavor to reform our processes from a legislative standpoint shouldn't operate to the exclusion of what we at the Commission can do ourselves to keep the trains running on time. So in a number of the proposals I put forward, which I don't believe are politically beneficial to anybody, but are just a matter of good government, involve setting deadlines, employing more sunset clauses, creating a dashboard where the public can monitor exactly how the Commission is performing with respect to key performance metrics, like the number of petitions for reconsideration that are pending, how long it takes us to issue license renewals, and those kinds of things, all of which speak to the value of accountability. I think too often what we've heard over the last number of years, not limited to any particular agency in terms of political leadership, is that the Commission doesn't necessarily respond as quickly to the industry as the industry is moving on its own. And so I think that's one of the things I know my colleagues agree with it. As we move into the 21st century, deeper into the 21st century, we need to make sure that we are acting at the same pace as the private sector.
Thank you, Commissioner, and I'm running out of time. Mr. Chairman, I plan on reintroducing the FCC Consolidated Reports Act this year. Certainly hope to get the support of the committee. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Senator Heller. And let me